Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. We have got to talk a little bit about the Angel Reese fiasco against the Indiana Fever. Hey, by the way, do you all remember when the Fever trashed the Brazilian national team and the Sky fans were all like, "Oh, they're a bunch of high schoolers." What what does that make the Chicago Sky? Just out of curiosity, let me know in the comments below. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the post-game press conference with the reaction in the game from both Angel Reese and the coach, and we're going to take it a step further because there's a little bit of a contradiction, if not maybe a little bit of hypocrisy. And I'm curious as to why there is such a difference from both Angel Reese and the fans. So we will get to that in a minute. But here is the Sky coach talking about the Angel Reese reaction.
Yeah, I think that it's a little misrepresentation to calm her down. I think emotions were high on both sides, and so I think Angel reacted in a way that any of us would react in a moment like that. And so for her, I think it's just, and for us, it's the understanding that we are all in this together. We got her back in that locker room and on this coaching staff, and it'll continue.
I know it's tough to hear. That is really, really low. I cranked up the volume on that. But if you heard me, said Angel Reese reacted how any of us would react. That is 100% a lie. I'm worried about this coach and his ability to control the locker room. I get not wanting to throw your player under the bus, but you don't have to go the extra mile to lie, because everyone who's been a longtime fan and knows the sport, anyone who's played the sport knows what Caitlin did back in the day. I know nowadays we got a whole bunch of children playing the game, emotionally stunted. NBA as well, where they can't take a regular hard foul that is clearly to prevent a basket. That used to be a very common part of the game, where at times someone is going to have an easy bucket, and you set a little bit of the tone. You say, "No, I'm not going to allow that." You wanted to earn it at the free throw line, and you do that with exactly how Caitlin did. You've got to get hard across both of those arms to make sure they don't come up, because you all have seen plenty of times where someone purposely fouls a player and they make the basket anyway because you didn't really do your job on the foul. And so for him to say that's how anyone would react is absolutely untrue. So I'm worried about this guy and his demeanor and what I see. And by the way, how anyone would react. I've got some extra footage for you that I didn't put in the post game, and you can let me know if that's how everyone would react to that foul. But we've also got Angel Reese right after asked about it, and this doesn't last long, okay? Because she doesn't say much, but take a listen to this.
Angel, can you take us through the flagrant foul from your perspective? Just what you saw in that play, how you interpreted what happened.
Basketball play, refs got it right. Move on.
Angel.
Basketball play, refs got it right. Move on. There is Angel, who's always willing to talk and say, "I'm the villain," and I embrace that. Didn't have a whole lot to say there. I'm guessing someone got to her before the press conference and just said, "Hey, you know what? Don't make this worse. Don't make this worse. Just answer the question as briefly as possible. Here's what you're going to say. It's only a few words, and that is it. And we're not going to talk about it again, because there is no justification for what happened with that play." I want to revisit a couple things, which is what makes this really, really interesting. So we had this last year. You all might remember this last year. Everybody remember that hard blow across the head? Do we all remember this? Hopefully I can show this. That's a pretty hard whack to the head right there. And it was called a flagrant. But what we also had was there was no reaction from Caitlin Clark in terms of getting up and complaining to Angel Reese. She got the call, shot the free throws, the Fever got the ball, and we moved on. And that, my friends, was far, far worse than anything Caitlin Clark did to Angel Reese with a basic foul and then Angel Reese flopped to the ground. Okay. And the reactions between the two players who got fouled night and day, right? Absolutely, completely different. And then Remember this? This was made into a big uproar. There's a couple. We'll start with this first one on here, but then we'll get to the second one. Remember Alyssa Thomas? It's a bit of a hip check there. Angel goes down hard. But then there's this. Here we go for the rebound, right? And to the throat and slams her down. Now I said that's a little bit of Angel Reese getting caught in the air. And I'm not blaming Angel Reese. I'm just talking about physics, body leverage. Angel Reese is in the air already. And which is why it makes it dangerous. Okay. I'm not excusing it, but because she's in the air, it takes a little less of a hit. Just same thing with like nudging somebody in the lower back, say in soccer, someone goes up for a header, you're behind them, you just kind of put a forearm, just lean into their lower back, and that throws them off. So it made it look a lot worse than the intensity of the contact is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's any less dangerous, but point being, I want to talk a little bit about the reaction. First of all, Angel Reese in the game didn't get up, didn't go after Alyssa Thomas. Why not go after Alyssa Thomas? What's the difference? Because again, that is a much, much harder, much more dangerous foul. And by the way, Alyssa Thomas got tossed out of that game for that. She didn't just get a flagrant one, she got a flagrant two. But Angel Reese didn't go up and go after Alyssa Thomas on that, did she? No, she did not. And on top of that, we got this when asked about that from Alyssa Thomas.
A little bit. It's not just because I'm a rookie, I'm a player. I'm a basketball player. They don't give a damn if I'm a rookie. I mean, I want them to come at me every day. I want them to come at everybody. I mean, they're not supposed to be nice to me. I hope y'all know that. They're not supposed to be nice to me or lay down because I'm Angel Reese or because I'm a rookie. Like, thank you, AT, for sending the message to me because I got back up and I kept going and kept pushing. Like, me and AT have been cool since we were in Maryland, so I know it's not no hard feelings, and I appreciate her for going at me every day.
Wow. Wow. Hey, someone explain to me Alyssa Thomas, who committed a far more dangerous foul against Angel Reese, to which Angel Reese not only did not do anything in the game, but actually think of the psychology of that, folks, thanked Alyssa Thomas for basically smacking her around. That's a bit of a dysfunctional relationship, it sounds like. But please explain to me in the comments below what is different. That was a much more severe foul, a much more dangerous foul in terms of what it could have done to Angel Reese, and she thanks her for it. But Caitlin Clark commits a normal basketball play, and Angel Reese is out of her mind. Yes, out of her mind. Which, by the way, again, this is a little different than what we had yesterday. I didn't go into all of it. If I can find it now, where'd it go? All right, here we go. This is a little bit, right? This is a little bit after. We're kind of following it now. This is a little bit after what happened. And she went on for a long time, folks. Look, back to the bench. No, now she wants to go after her again. Yeah, but I get a little bit of that. Hold me back because I don't really want to get into a confrontation. So hold me back, and I'll act like I'm going. Look, is she taking off the shirt? Like, what is she doing here? Is she getting ready for her UFC debut or what? But she's going on and on and on about a basic foul. Okay, again, basic foul. And there it is again, and she's screaming at her like, see what I mean? This went on and on and on for a basic foul. So please, someone tell me that Angel Reese does not hate Caitlin Clark, despite her cowardly responses when Caitlin Clark is brought up and she's asked about her, and she's like, "Oh, we get along, and oh, we're cool," even though she trashed Caitlin Clark's fans and called them the R word on her podcast, just like everyone else. This is unhinged behavior, folks. This is someone who needs maybe some anger management classes. This is someone who cannot control their emotions, and that is a very, very dangerous thing. I find it fascinating that the behavior is so different from Caitlin Clark getting knocked in the head by Angel Reese and how she responded to Angel Reese's responses both in press conferences and on the court with regard to Alyssa Thomas and then Caitlin Clark. Night and day, completely different. And she's got to get some sort of help with this. This is getting out of control with her behavior to the point where I would be concerned with the Indiana Fever having to play this team 4 more times and Caitlin Clark on the court. But I'm going to leave it there. I just wanted to point all this out because it is, I think it gives you a lot of insight into her mindset and what she's thinking with regard to these players and how much of this really is, I think, about absolute jealousy jealousy that turns into hatred for Caitlin Clark, for her popularity, for her skill set, for everything about her, for her fandom, and on and on and on. And Angel Reese is letting it come out in destructive ways for herself. Like this isn't good for Angel Reese. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, appreciate you checking out this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.